Germany is one of the most expensive countries to live in, but according to the German government, if you're coming on a student visa, you technically only need around 992 euros a month to survive here. On an opportunity card, it's a bit higher, around 1027 euros. That's the official number they use when calculating how much money you need in your blocked account. But 1000 euros a month is still a lot, especially if you're arriving without an income. So I had this crazy thought. What if you could survive in Germany on way less than that, around 500 euros? It's not easy, but with the right mindset and a few smart hacks, it might actually be doable. Let's see how far we can stretch that euro. Let's get started. If you are new here, my name is Srijit and I've been working in Germany for over 12 years. And on this channel, I want to provide you with all the information you need to start your life and career in Germany. The biggest factor that decides whether you spend 500 euros or 5000 euros a month is where you live. So here is rule number 1. Avoid the big cities. I know, they sound exciting. There is always stuff happening. But in cities like Munich or Frankfurt, rent alone can wipe out that entire budget. Just rent, nothing else. So instead, look into smaller cities or towns, especially in eastern or central Germany. Let me give you some real numbers. In Magdeburg, you can get a shared room for around 250 euros. In Halle, it's about 260 euros. Erfurt is roughly 300 euros. And Paderborn, around 305 euros. Even Leipzig, which is still a proper city, has rooms for about 320 euros. Now, compare that to Munich, where you have to pay 650 euros for the same thing. So just by picking the right city, you are already saving hundreds. And it's not just rent, groceries, entertainment, transport, everything is usually cheaper in smaller towns. Now, I know most jobs are in the big cities, but here is the thing. You don't need to leave there to apply for a job. You can always travel for interviews. A few hours on a train is still way cheaper than paying crazy rent every month. And if you do have to be in a big city, then look at the outskirts or nearby towns. Rent is going to be a biggest monthly expense. So the first goal, keep it low. Ideally, somewhere between 200 to 300 euros a month. If you have already picked an affordable city, then you are already halfway there. Now, if you are a student, the best and cheapest option is a student dorm. And in smaller cities, you can get a room for around 200 to 250 euros. Even in the bigger cities, it's usually still under 400 euros. And that often includes water, heating, and sometimes even internet. But the only problem, everyone wants one. Demand is super high and spots are limited. So apply as early as possible. But what if you are not a student? Then your best option is something called a WG, or short for Wohngemeinschaft, which just means a shared flat. It's super common in Germany. You rent one room and share the kitchen, bathroom and living area with a few others. In smaller towns, you can easily find WG rooms for around 250 to 300 euros. And most of the time, that includes utilities too. So sharing is not just caring, it's also saving. Rent is just one part. There are still a few extras that you will need to cover by yourself. Internet, electricity, and your phone bill. If you are in a student dorm, then the internet is often already included. But in a shared flat, you can expect to pay around 5 to 10 euros a month. Not bad. Now, electricity mostly depends on your usage and how many people you are living with. But if you're in a shared flat, then you can budget around 20 euros a month. But always check websites like check24.de and find the cheapest provider. And when your contract ends, do the same check again and switch again to the cheapest provider at that time. Now, let's talk about your phone. You can get a prepaid SIM card from Aldi, Lidl or Lebera for as low as 5 to 10 euros a month. And if you can make use of free Wi-Fi in places like cafes, libraries and trains, you won't even need that much data. Finally, a utility cost which is specific to Germany and is often overlooked is the Rundfunkbeitrag. This is Germany's public broadcasting fee of around 18 euros a month. Even if you don't have a TV, or never watch German news, it's mandatory to pay for it. But the good part, it's per household. So in a shared flat, you can split it with others. So if you are smart about your choices, then you can keep your utility bill around 35 euros a month. Now let's talk about groceries in Germany. And the good news, they are actually pretty affordable compared to a lot of other European countries. You can comfortably manage on around 150 to 200 euros a month. And if you are really strict, then even 120 euros a month is doable. The key is where you shop. So stick to budget supermarkets like Aldi, Lidl, Penny and Netto. You can find them everywhere. And always go for the store's own brand products. It's usually the exact same thing, just in a different packaging, and it's way cheaper. Also, don't ignore supermarket apps. Most of them have weekly offers and surprise discounts and can save you a few extra euros every time. And finally, a general tip. Never go grocery shopping without a list. You will just end up tossing random stuff in your basket that you don't actually need. So be smart with your shopping. Let's talk about getting around in Germany. If you are living in a big city, public transport is everywhere. Buses, trams, subways, S-Bahns, you name it. And honestly, it works really well. If you are a student, you might get lucky with a semester ticket. It usually gives you unlimited travel in your city or region for a pretty low price. But even if you are not a student, there is still a great option, the Deutschland ticket. For 58 euros a month, you get unlimited access to all regional public transport all over Germany. But if you are job hunting or trying to stretch every single euro, there is a cheaper option, walking or cycling. Almost every German city is bicycle friendly, and you can easily find a decent bicycle for around 50 euros. And after that, it's free transport every single day. So with a little planning, walking more and biking whenever you can literally bring your transport cost down to zero. If you are trying to stick to a 500 euro per month budget, this is something which you can't afford much. A doner kebab can cost anywhere around 5 euros. A single meal at a restaurant can set you back by 10 to 15 euros. Do that a few times and your budget is gone. So you have to cook most of your meals. And the same goes for movies. A regular cinema ticket costs around 10 euros. Not crazy expensive, but it's not something that you can afford to do regularly on this budget. A better option, streaming, Netflix, Spotify, Amazon Prime. These are great options if you can split the cost with your friends. Now, what about fitness? Gyms in Germany usually charge between 20 to 50 euros a month. But here is the thing, you actually don't need a gym. Instead, you can join a sport verein or a local sports club. They cost just 5 to 10 euros a month and you get access to sports, activities, and it's also a great way to meet people and make friends. And for everything else, just go outside. Seriously, Germany is full of parks, walking paths and hiking trails. So take a walk, explore, chill with friends at a lake. None of that costs money. So yeah, entertainment in Germany doesn't have to be expensive. Even with just 20 euros a month, you can still enjoy life, have fun and treat yourself every now and then. There are still a few more things that you will need to spend on. Clothes, furnitures and some everyday essentials. For clothes, stick to the big budget-friendly stores like C&A or Primark. You can find decent shirts for less than 10 euros or jeans for around 20 euros. If you're looking for shoes, then Deichmann or Foot Locker are good choices. But if you really want to stretch your money, then flea markets are your best friend. You can find some surprisingly good stuff for super cheap prices or even free. You just need to know when and where they are happening. And don't forget about online options like eBay Kleinanzeigen or local Facebook groups. People give away all kinds of things. Couches, chairs, shelves, kitchen stuffs, sometimes even brand new things that they never used. But one tip, don't take mattresses that you find on the street, no matter how clean they look. Trust me, it's not worth the risk. Also, when you open a bank account, go for online banks like N26 or Revolut. They are easy to set up and usually have zero fees. Now, there is one expense that I'm not including here, and that's health insurance. And there are two reasons why I left it out. First, if I include it, then I can't really call this video, is it possible to live under 500 euros a month in Germany? And second, and more importantly, how much you pay for the insurance depends a lot on your age and how much you earn. If you're a student under 30, then you will pay somewhere between 110 euros and 150 euros a month. But if you're not employed yet, for example, you are here with an opportunity card, then it can cost anywhere from 200 euros to even 500 euros a month, depending on which provider you choose. So based on everything we have talked about, here is where we land. Rent around 250 euros, utilities and phone around 35 euros, groceries around 150 euros, transport around 25 euros, entertainment around 20 euros. and other expenses also 20 euros, and total exactly 500 euros. And if you also add health insurance, then another 150 to 200 euros. Now, I know I've gone a bit strict with this breakdown, but this was just to give you an idea of what's really possible. Your actual expenses might be a few hundred euros higher or lower depending on your lifestyle, your city, or whether you are working or studying. But the point is, when you are on a budget, being intentional with where your money goes can make a huge difference. It's not always about cutting everything out. It's about knowing what truly matters and spending smarter. I hope you got some value from this video and will help you to live affordably in Germany. And if you want to see more content on saving money and building wealth, then you can also check out my other channel where I talk about how to earn, save and invest your money. Until I see you with another video, have a wonderful rest of the day and auf Wiedersehen.